Welcome back, warrior friends. We are ready for chapter 2 in our story, Ungifted. You might remember that in chapter number 1, our main character, Donovan Curtis, thought that it would be entertaining to hit the statue of Atlas outside his school with a stick. That led to the ball of the heavens and the earth rolling off the statue, down the hill, into the front doors of the school building, and right into the gym where the basketball game was being played. Chapter 2 is titled Unidentified, and it is told from the perspective of Dr. Schultz. To be the superintendent of the school district like Hardcastle, with its 47 buildings and more than 30,000 students, was a huge responsibility. A lot of administrators would have hundreds of complicated rules to follow. I only had one: no screw-ups. So when I took time out of my busy schedule to attend the middle school basketball game, I expected to see orderly students, good sportsmanship, and happy alumni. What I did not expect to see was a giant metal ball blasting into the gymnasium, scattering players like tenpins. Not only did it create a dangerous situation, it also reflected very badly on the Hardcastle schools. Miraculously, no one was injured. Still, there was a lot of chaos as the parents of the players rushed their sons to the floor in an effort to protect them from whatever onslaught this was. I knew instantly the globe was part of the statue of Atlas that stood on the knoll overlooking the school. And it certainly hadn't rolled itself down into the gym. I raced to the shattered door and out onto the lawn. I could see the ribbon of crushed grass all the way back up to the figure of Atlas, who looked peculiar, bent under the weight of absolutely nothing. The culprit laid in the flattened path and raised up on one elbow, staring at the damage guiltily. "You there!" I called. The boy tried to scramble up and run, but he couldn't get any traction on the squashed turf. By the time he found his feet, I was upon him and he was caught. "Come with me to my office." His shoulders crumpled. "Yeah, okay." He looked as worried as he ought to be. I drew some small satisfaction from that. The administration building was on the very same campus, but the boy didn't speak on the way over. Not even a protest of his innocence. A fat lot of good that would have done him. I had him dead to rights. The evidence, a 400-pound bronze sphere, the damage it had caused, and it spoke plainly about what he had done. At last we reached my office, and I glared at him from across my desk. "Do you know who I am?" He shook his head and had the grace to look a little scared. "I am Dr. Schultz, superintendent of Hardcastle Independent School District, and I'll have your name and your school's name right now." "Donovan Curtis? I go here. I mean, Hardcastle Middle School, where, it happened." I wrote the information on a piece of paper on the cluttered desk in front of me. "Well, Donovan Curtis, I don't have to tell you you're in big trouble right now. You're lucky that no one was hurt or even killed by your stunt. Why would you do such a thing?" "It was an accident." If he thought he was going to get away with an excuse like that, he had picked the wrong administrator. A giant metal ball doesn't plow through a building by accident. He spoke up again. "I hit the statue with a branch. I didn't think the world would fall off." "You didn't think." My secretary, Mrs. de Bourbon, came bustling in looking worried. I'm sorry to disturb you, Dr. Schultz, but you're needed urgently back at the gym. Someone called the fire department from a cell phone, and you're the only one with the authority to send them away." She frowned. "Nothing's on fire, is it?" "No, of course not." I was halfway to the door when I hesitated. What to do with the boy? He was looking hopeful, as if he was home free. Believe me, He wasn't. It would serve him right if I left him sitting there cooling his heels while I went out to deal with the mess that he made. But who knew how long that would take? By now, those firefighters could be finding code violations in the gym, and I had a dinner meeting across town. I screwed him with my most severe expression. You can go, but I'll send for you tomorrow, and we'll continue this discussion. He was out of there like a shot. I wasn't far behind him when Mrs. de Bourbon called back to me. I'm sorry to bother you again, but Student Services needs that list of new candidates for the gifted program. I sighed. Did everything have to pass through me? Am I the only person? It's on my desk, Cynthia. You can't miss it. What a nightmare. There was damage to the gym floor in addition to the doors. They were a total loss. And the foundry that had made the statue had gone out of business 5 years ago, so good luck getting a replacement globe for Atlas. And the district's insurance agent was on vacation for the next 2 weeks. I missed my dinner meeting and my dinner. By the time I got back to my office, I was almost insane with aggravation. This was exactly why I don't tolerate screw-ups. There was no such thing as just one. The first one led to the second, and pretty soon they were coming at you in battalions. I needed to accomplish one real thing this miserable day, and I knew exactly what it was going to be. I was going to call that boy's parents and let them know the damage and the chaos that their son's vandalism had caused. I scanned my desk for the paper where I had written his name. It was gone. I scoured every item on that desk, and not just once. Nothing. Cynthia! But she had already left for the day. How could this be? That boy must have snuck back in and stole the paper, hoping that I would forget his name among the 30,000 students that I'm responsible for. Well, he was wrong about that. His name was sudden, overpowering chagrin. I had broken my only rule. That's the end of chapter 2. On chapter 3, we'll go back to Donovan's perspective. Wonder if his superintendent will remember his name. Will he be punished for hitting Atlas? What could possibly happen next? Join me next time to find out.